Hey, I'm Aoife and I make YouTube videos about veganism, raw veganism and a lot of very interesting topics. And today's topic is going to be about Moon&rock and why they started eating animal products again. And maybe for those of you who don't know who Moon&rock is, it's a YouTube channel from Evan and Megan Rock. They're from the USA and they promoted the vegan lifestyle and the raw vegan lifestyle. And however, some months ago they made a video, and in this video they explained why they went back to eating animals again. And I think they deleted the video because maybe of the negative comments. However, I think it's still very important to discuss this topic because I think we can learn so much from their examples and maybe just talk about vegan stigmas that are simply not true. And before I get into the video, I just want to say that in no shape or form do I want to harass them personally. I think I don't know them personally, so I can't really say anything about them. And second, I think they're super nice people. So this video is more about veganism in general. So the first thing that I want to talk about is basically veganism can be so much. Like, the way you eat on a vegan diet can be so different. You can be a raw vegan, so where you only eat fruit and vegetables. You can be a junk food vegan, where you eat a lot of vegan junk food, like vegan cheese and stuff like this. You can be a very high starch vegan, where you eat a lot of potatoes and rice, and you can be a vegan low carb vegan, where you eat very low carbs but still be vegan. So there are so many different forms, and I think this is very important to understand and to remember when you read an article or watch a video where people decide not to be vegan anymore, because for example they could only eat soy pudding or soy yogurt, and which is of course very unhealthy if you do it over the time and not really get a lot of other nutrients and vitamins. And so of course it doesn't work, but this doesn't mean that a vegan diet in general doesn't work. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that I think a lot of people, when they come to a vegan diet, they tend to overcomplicate things. Because before I was vegan, I ate very unhealthy, a lot of junk food, but I was never ever thinking about what I was eating or if I get enough nutrients. And also my family, they were also like not really caring much about nutrition, etc. But when I went vegan and started eating a lot more fruit and vegetables and really healthier, suddenly everybody was very, very scared that I might not get enough nutrients or vitamins, which is obviously quite funny. So I started incorporating a lot of superfoods and stuff like this. But now, after being vegan for 3.5 years, not eating meat for over 6.5 years, I can really say, or even more, I can really say that you don't really need so many superfoods, vitamin powders, protein powders and stuff. I think the really important thing is to shift your focus away from powders and back to whole foods like fruit, vegetables, and maybe also grains and legumes, etc. So whole foods, which are unprocessed, and maybe instead of overcomplicating things, just eat more healthier. The next thing is that they mentioned that they basically try to justify their decision of eating animals again by saying they only eat organic and grass-fed. And actually I think this is not so true, because still, first, it's also unhealthy if you buy organic meat, because meat is meat if it is organic or if it is not organic. And also the second thing is that a lot of animals still have to suffer and die even if you buy organic. I mean, maybe yes, they have a little bit better life, but still they die even though they don't want to die, even if you buy organic. So that's very important to understand. And the same with like eggs. If you buy eggs, even if you buy organic eggs, in most of the cases the chickens will get divided and the male chickens will get shredded and killed. So it's still very cruel. And it's the same with dairy, basically. Still, if you buy organic milk and organic dairy products, still the cows have to get violently raped and the baby cows have to get killed in the end. So it's very, very cruel still if you buy organic. And then we have the next thing, and this is just, sorry, it was my dad. The next thing is that she said she's now pregnant and she basically want to eat animals again because she thinks it's healthier for her child and she craved meat. So the first thing is, just because you crave things doesn't mean that they will get healthier. So animal products are really bad for our health. For example, they contain lots of cholesterol, saturated fat, etc. And I could talk a lot about it, but maybe you want to do your own research. Great books that I can really recommend is The China Study or How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. However, or also the 80-10-10 diet or the Detox Miracle. So there are so many great books, and I will link them in the description box. But there are also great websites like nutritionfacts.org or PETA. They're not sponsored, so they try really their best to give the best information and independent information. So that's really great to check it out. Check it out in my description box. And yeah, so I really believe that animal products are quite harmful. So I think it's actually quite irresponsible if you feed your children animal products. And also if you're pregnant and eating animal products, because your child in your belly is basically eating with you. So that's the thing. And the next thing I want to talk about is that they said like we evolved eating meat, and this is simply not true, because I think a lot of people believe that we or our ancestors were the Neanderthals living in northern climates and caves and hunting, and actually this is not true. Like we're maybe not even 1% of our ancestors were Neanderthals. We're Homo sapiens, and Homo sapiens evolved millions of years ago in Africa, in the rainforest, where it was very warm, where they had a lot of fruit, and for millions of years. And only 200,000 years ago, we started getting out of Africa and starting getting out of the world, basically around the world. And then we started cooking and just experimenting with fire and eating meat. But before all those millions of years ago, we did not really eat cooked meat. And to be honest, I think it doesn't make any logical sense or eating raw meat, like killing an animal, like, I don't know, a pig or a cow with our hands or something, and then kill it if you have so much plant-based variety out there. So it doesn't really make sense. Like raw meat with all the blood and the skin, etc. doesn't really make sense to me. And yeah, what I want to say is our digestive tract has simply not adapted to eating especially cooked animal products again, because 200,000 years is simply not enough for our digestive system to change evolutionary. But I will make another extra video about it where I go much more into detail. And yeah, and now the very last thing is speciesism, because speciesism basically means that some people think that humans are better than animals, so humans are one step above animals. However, I believe this is not the case, because I believe that we are all equal. So animals have their own rights to live and humans have their own rights to live as well. So this basically means that we have no right whatsoever to kill animals or to eat animals, as they have their own right to live, especially if we don't need them for our food choices, which basically we don't need. So this is basically what I wanted to talk about, and again, not shaming them, just talk about some stigmas about veganism. And if you have any questions about veganism or raw veganism, please ask me on YouTube or on Instagram, and I will really I would really be very happy to